Hi, I'm Doc AJ Chua and welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. We talk about mental health and relationships every Friday, so please do subscribe. For today's AJ's Book Finds episode, I highly recommend that you buy and read Dr. John Maxwell's The Complete 101 collection. This book contains a lot of insights as to what every leader needs to know about attitude, relationships, success, teamwork, equipping, etc. For this episode, I'll talk about his chapter on self-improvement. This is in line with what I've been talking about for the past few weeks, which is about growth mindset. Check them out in case you haven't watched them. Tip number 1. Choose a life of growth. No matter how successful you are today, don't get complacent. Keep honing your skills by possessing a teachable heart. Maintain an attitude of learning new things, unlearning negative habits, and relearning productive habits. Pablo Casals was a Spanish cellist, composer, and conductor. A reporter asked, "You are 95 years old and the greatest cellist that ever lived. Why do you still practice 6 hours a day?" Pablo replied, "Because I think I'm making progress." Another of his famous quotes is, "Of course, I continue to play and practice. I think I would do so if I lived for another 100 years. If you want to be successful in our field, like Pablo Casals, we have to choose a life of growth. Tip number 2, start growing today. Avoid having the someday syndrome. I'll start doing something someday. If you keep procrastinating, that day will never come and you will never learn anything. Growth today will provide a better tomorrow. Commit to developing your potential today. Henry Ford, founder of the Ford Motor Company, said, "It's been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste." Look for mentors. John Maxwell scheduled a learning lunch with someone he admires for at least 6 times a year. Before he meets with them, he would read their books and listen to their speeches. That way, he can ask the right questions, then think of how he can apply the insights to his own life. Tip number 3, develop a plan for growth. Set goals that are specific, attainable, and measurable. Think of how and when you're going to do them. The late Earl Nightingale, a radio commentator whose program was broadcast daily around the world for more than 40 years, said, "1 hour per day of study in your chosen field is all it takes. 1 hour per day of study will put you at the top of your field within 3 years. Within 5 years, you'll be a national authority. In 7 years, you can be one of the best people in the world at what you do." Seek to grow in all areas of your life. Here are some of my goals for 2023. Physically, one of my goals is to exercise for 5 minutes every day. One of my intellectual goals is to read 1 book a week. Last year, I was able to finish reading 59 books. But for this year, I want to read 2 counseling books every month. That way, I don't only grow intellectually, but I also improve in terms of my career. So I would read a few chapters every night. In terms of social goals, I've already scheduled to meet with some relatives and friends within this year. Financially, it is to save a certain amount every month. For my spiritual goal, I would want to know Jesus more. So I want to read the Bible twice this year. That way, at the end of 2023, I'd have read it 38 times. I'd like to close with a prayer that John Maxwell wrote when he was 60. "Lord, as I grow older, I would like to be known as available rather than a hard worker, compassionate more than competent, content, not driven, generous instead of rich, gentle over being powerful, listener more than a great communicator, Loving versus quick or bright. Reliable, not famous. Sacrificial instead of successful. Self-controlled rather than exciting. Thoughtful more than gifted. From Dr. John Maxwell's The Complete One-on-One Collection, here are 3 tips. Number 1, choose a life of growth. Number 2, start growing today. Number 3, develop a plan for growth. If you're blessed by this video, please like, subscribe, and click on the notification button below and share it to others. And do follow Adjusting Your Heart in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Signal GCTV 185. Take care, everyone.